Blake Griffin has signed with the Brooklyn Nets, and at this point in the game, this makes the Brooklyn Nets, in my opinion, the favorites to win the NBA title if they're all healthy. The reason I say this is because you guys got to remember a couple seasons ago, Blake Griffin was actually an MVP candidate in Detroit. So you have an MVP candidate coming off the bench. And that within itself says more than anything. You have KD, you have Kyrie, and you have James Harden, MVP candidate coming off the bench. I mean, if that doesn't say that you're a favorite to win, I don't know what does. And Vegas might have the odds a different way or whatever, but I don't care what Vegas says in this instance. If they're all healthy, they should be the odds favorite to win the title. Now, Blake did this in order to win a championship to solidify his career. And, you know, at the end of the day and the end of your career, you just want to, I guess you want to get all the accolades. But for me, I would look at it as I want to get as much money as I can. But thankfully for Blake, the Detroit Pistons are offered to buy him out. So that he's going to still get paid and he can move on and do what he has to do. However, ring chasing and everything like that, I know a lot of guys do it at the end of their career to win a title, to solidify their legacy. But to me, Blake's legacy is not going to vastly improve if he wins a championship with the Brooklyn Nets. Unless he's like spectacular in the finals or, you know, he does a lot of things in the playoffs that help the team really win. But other than that, I mean, his legacy he's set. Like, he's a dunker. He's a dunker. Dunk champion. A lot of his game has really changed. He's a dunk champion that hasn't even had that many dunks in a season. And he's basically turned into a stretch four. So that one in itself is like, you know, we'll still put him in the category of a dunker even though he's not like that anymore. So winning a championship, to me, it doesn't really vastly improve his stock. Maybe it helps him get into the Hall of Fame if he has the numbers. But all that being said, I mean, for me, it doesn't do anything. But to him, and, you know, like at the end of your career, you want to look at and you want to see some trophies. You want to see some accolades and stuff like that. So that makes sense. Now, what this does, the Blake Griffin signing does, this really puts the Nets in a situation where it's title or bust. There cannot be any more James Harden letdowns where he doesn't show up and, you know, when it's a closeout game, he's not really there. He has to ride the pine like he did in Houston with Kevin McHale. There can't be any more excuses or weird, like, Kevin Durant turnovers, like when they lost the 3-1 lead to the Golden State Warriors. There can't be, like, any excuses. It's literally title or bust. They are expected to win the championship. So anything less would just be wrong. Like, it's, you know, like, remember that commercial, anything less will be uncivilized? Like, anything less here will be uncivilized. You have to win a title with the way that the team is formulated. First of all, they got James Harden. You have to win a title. Now you add Blake Griffin to the mix. I mean, you have to win a title. Honestly speaking, you have to win it year one. If you lose year one, everybody's going to be like, damn, all these moves you made and you guys couldn't even win a title. So it's going to be even more ridicule. So I don't know if these guys, I know KD is ready for that pressure because KD had to deal with that in Golden State. But is James Harden ready for the pressure? Is Blake Griffin ready for that pressure? Is Kyrie Irving ready for that pressure? Well, it's yet to be seen. DeAndre Jordan is another one. Now, another factor we have to play into this, because LeBron he's like air in the NBA. The LeBron apologists, what they're going to say. If LeBron does not win his 5th title this season and they play the Brooklyn Nets, they're going to say the team was too stacked. They're going to say it was too much. It was insurmountable. Look at the people LeBron plays. They're going to say another excuse like LeBron won a title in Cleveland. The Warriors got KD. LeBron won a title in LA. Nets had to go get James Harden and Blake Griffin. So the LeBron apologists are already locked and loaded. They have all their excuses ready to go. It is what it is for them. They don't give a damn about what you say. They don't care about facts as facts. You play who's in front of you. They will come up with a million excuses. You know, there already people saying they had to get this to beat the king. They need all this to beat the king who can't shoot threes, who can't do this. This just shows you he's the GOAT right then and there. So this already is locked and loaded, pre-baked. Now, here's the other aspect of it all. If LeBron James beats this Brooklyn Nets team in the finals, oh, he's the GOAT. So, I mean, you can say he's the GOAT all you want, but right now he's sitting at 4-6 in the NBA Finals. He's the only quote-unquote GOAT to be having a losing record in the finals. So that's going to be the other hyperbolic situation. If he beats the Nets with KD, all those guys healthy, that's going to be like, oh, I told you he's the best of all. So that's crazy within himself. Now, moving on, right? We talked about all these guys, Blake, LeBron, the Nets. But what about KD, guys? Think about this. KD left the Golden State Warriors in order to cement his legacy and say, hey, I didn't need a stacked team to win a championship. I'm going to do something over there. And people that critique KD, you know, rightfully or wrongfully, to me, like, KD's legacy is already set. But people who critique KD's legacy saying he can't be top 10 because he had Steph and Clay. He was on a stacked team. Now, if he wins a title with the Nets, they're going to say the same thing. They're going to say he had James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. He had Hall of Famers with him, and not just, he had MVPs with him and stuff like that. They're going to discount his rings in Brooklyn. So, like, I think the thing KD was running away from Golden State, it just keeps following him and following him and following him. And it's easily bad. What you have to think about is the precedent LeBron set by creating the super team in Miami. KD following suit and say, I'm going to create a super team in Golden State. Now I'm going to go to the Brooklyn and we're going to be a super team or whatever. And we're going to be a regular team. Because at first it was KD and Kyrie. The Nets were like, well, we need an insurance policy if KD's not healthy so we get James Harden. You know KD had to sign off on that. Now you know KD had to sign off on Blake Griffin as well, right? Because the Nets are running everything like a sort of like an oligarchy. Like everybody can contribute and there's a couple of key guys. So, man, I'm telling you, like, KD wins a ring and he does his thing, they're going to say that he had help. KD loses, he's a bum. And the thing is, people don't even think about this, right? KD went to Golden State. He was the best player on the Golden State Warriors consistently. He was the best player. He never had like a bad game in the playoffs, really. He maybe one game he had like a bad game. His worst game was a triple-double in the finals where Steph Curry went ham. He went like 30. Steph had 37. So if the only way KD's legacy could be impacted, in my opinion, is if he goes to the NBA Finals and he lays an egg. Like if he goes to the finals and he plays against LeBron and he's just not there, and it's not because of injury. It's just like he really can't get off or he can't figure out how to make his teammates better in a sense. Then you can say he's not, you know, whatever. But if he goes to the finals and he drops 40 every game, can't talk about that, man. But I will say this. People are going to hold this against him. Like, you have all this help. And it's going to hold him against Kyrie, Harden, all of them. So that's just something to think about. Hoops Junction. Hoops means hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.